Hi everybody, I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I am based right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are located all throughout the United States, and that's because immigration is a federal practice, and that means that we can represent you no matter where you are located. You could be anywhere in the world and be trying to come into the U.S., or you could be anywhere in the U.S. And we can represent you. Today I am on to just kind of answer questions, answer your one-off immigration questions. Obviously, we would need likely to give you kind of attorney-client privileged advice. I would need to schedule a consultation with you. But if you have some one-off question, I'm happy to provide a general answer based on what I know. But if you'd like to get in depth into your case, you should certainly schedule a consultation with us. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. Hi, Edwin. Nice to see you. I'm on a kind of a different hour today, so thank you for joining me, you guys. And feel free to go ahead and put your questions in, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're interested in scheduling a consultation, I always like to kind of go over what that is with us, right? Especially if you're not located in the DC area and you might not be able to come in person. What we do is in fact, my preference is by Zoom. So we do it by Zoom or by phone. By Zoom, it'll be kind of like this. It'll just be you and me. We'll be together for someone's trying to co-host me here. We'll be together on Zoom. Like this will just be you and me. Most of the time you don't need any documents. Most of the time I just have questions about your entry, just the statuses you've held in the past, things like that can help me lay out the options for you, and I'll have some questions. And of course, if you have follow-up after the consultation, usually I'm open to email questions, or if you need to do a quick call again, we're happy to answer your questions. So a consultation, you don't really need much. It's pretty much the questions that you have for me, or what I need to know about your immigration history. Most people know off the top of their head, just because they know when they entered, they know what has happened, they know their experiences and whatnot. So usually we can do a consultation without any documents at all. But we do them by phone or by Zoom. So usually on Zoom, I'm able to go through documents with you, right? So I can show you documents that we have to outline the procedure, to outline kind of the timeline and the fees and all of that. So you have it, and then we can talk about it together. So that's why I like Zoom. But we do it by phone too, for whoever some people just prefer that, and they're not as tech savvy, or they just don't want to be on camera, right? So either way, totally fine. We can work with you no matter where you're located. Edwin says, good afternoon. Hi, Edwin. Nice to see you. Sunny is my true and trusted companion here on Facebook Live. Sunny says, hi, FBI. How long does it take for the fingerprint cards I need for VAWA? I will mail them 3 weeks now. It takes about that long. Sunny, it should be coming soon. We request them usually by email, the results via email. So they come a little bit faster, but about that long is what they're taking right now. Maybe 2 weeks, I think we're seeing on our end, but you're not outside the realm of that. So if we can help you with your VAWA application, we help many clients with VAWA. We can definitely help you no matter where you're located. Again, you can call us for a consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. VAWA, for those of you that don't know what that is, VAWA is an application for people that are either they're victims of abuse. So they're either married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. They're having problems in their marriage. Their spouse is either not refusing to file for them, or they don't want their spouse to know that they're filing for their own green card. But if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, you may be able to qualify to apply for that green card on your own without your spouse. And this actually can be filed for. You can request this benefit even if you're separated or even if you're divorced, as long as the divorce is less than 2 years from the time of your application. So spouses are not the only people that are eligible for VAWA. Kids, you can qualify through your kids too. So if you're not married and you have a child who is a U.S. citizen who's 21 or over, you may be eligible for a self-petition as well. You can petition on your own without your child sponsoring you, without your child really even knowing. But you may qualify, and that's really an option for you to explore. The benefit is if you are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or if you have a child who is a U.S. citizen 21 or over. The benefit is you get a work permit in about 6 to 8 months and your green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. And that person that's your petitioner, that's normally the person that would be sponsoring you, they wouldn't even need to know that you're applying, to be honest. They wouldn't even need to know that you're applying. Everything is 100% confidential, and it's done completely on your own, without your spouse or without your child, if you're applying based on a child who's a U.S. citizen 21 or over. And many people will qualify, and this is really helpful for them because if they have an illegal entry, they don't have to leave the U.S. to process that green card. Of course, you have to be eligible, but sometimes if you have an illegal entry, this is a better option for you than filing a waiver and things that other attorneys may have told you to do. So anyway, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, or if you have a child 21 or over who's a U.S. citizen, VAWA is just something you should explore, even if you're out of status or if you had an illegal entry. You should at least know the requirements and see if you're eligible, because you do get that work permit in 6 to 8 months. You get a green card in 2 to 2.5 years if you qualify. Call us if we can help you with that. We are again at 703-348-1663. I'm streaming right now on both Facebook and on TikTok, so feel free to join us on either if you lose us on one. We are at Agarwal Immigration. That's our handle on both. So it's Agarwal Immigration. All right. Thanks so much for joining me at this kind of a weird time, you guys. Hi, Druveda. Hi, Position 6. Druveda says hi. And then there's a few others. Hi, Thind Sab. Hi, Dinesh. Hi, Shazi. Hi, Gopila. Hi, Purvi. Hi, Mechit. Hi, Self-Love. Self-Love says, if I can I reapply? You can usually reapply. But of course you have to qualify, right? So many times you have to be in status to apply for something. VAWA, for example, that I just talked about, you do not need to be in status to apply for that. Okay. Hi, Gormeen. Hi, Poonam. Great. Nice to see you guys. So I'm going to start off with just some questions that come up in my practice while I wait for you to put your own questions down, and I'm happy to answer them. Obviously schedule a consultation if you need to get really in depth about your case, but if you're going to ask generally, I can answer them. Again, if you don't know, if you're just joining, I'm an immigration lawyer and I'm based right outside of Washington, D.C. I'm based in the U.S., obviously, but we can help clients no matter where they're located. So certainly reach out to us if we can help you with any kind of immigration issue. We do companies. We help with cases where companies are sponsoring individuals, employees. We also help with humanitarian cases and family-based cases. So really, if you have a question, ask it now. If you want to schedule a consultation, that's okay too. We're doing them by Zoom or by phone. All right, I'm going to get started with a couple of questions that come up often here with some of the cases that we handle most often, which are VAWA cases. So one question that comes up with our clients is, I'm separated or divorced from a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, right? So I'm separated or divorced. Can I still apply for a green card? That comes up often. So I'm separated or divorced. My spouse was either a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Can I still apply for a green card even though I'm separated now? They never applied before, right? So this comes up pretty often. And yes, the answer is yes, you might still be eligible to apply for a green card on your own without your spouse. So as long as we can show that you lived with your spouse at some point, it doesn't have to be for a certain amount of time. As long as we can show that you lived with your spouse at some point, that you had problems in your marriage, right? And we can go into details if you schedule a consultation, and we'll be able to apply for your green card if you're eligible for this. It's a self-petition method. If you're eligible, we would apply for your green card. You would get a work permit in 6 to 8 months, and you would get a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years if you qualify. Certainly everyone's case is different. Give us a call to see if you're eligible. We schedule a consultation and talk with you about whether or not you'd be eligible. But if you are eligible, even if you're separated or divorced, if your divorce is less than 2 years from the time we apply, we can help you apply for a green card on your own without your spouse if you qualify, of course, but you can do this on your own without your spouse if your spouse was a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Okay, so give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. I'm seeing a bunch of little questions here, but I'm not missing anything. Hi, Shazi. I might have already said this. Hi, Self-Love. Self-Love says, if I reapply for my citizenship, will it take the same amount of time? Most likely, yes. Yeah, if you reapply for your citizenship, it is going to take about the same time. Certainly, if we can help you with your citizenship application right now, for us, I'm seeing it's taking about a year, maybe a year and a half at most, but about a year. And remember, there's limited staff with COVID, and so it doesn't really reflect on the merit of your application. So don't get dissuade if you haven't got an interview quickly. It doesn't mean that your application is bad. It just means that they have so many applications, they don't have enough people available for the interview. So yes, if you've been denied, you may want to reapply. Okay, we are at 703-348-1663. If you want to schedule a consultation, we handle naturalization, citizenship applications all the time. If you've been denied, I'm going to tell you, what should I do? What is a better way for me to apply, right? If you've been denied, hopefully whatever issue has corrected itself, or you've taken steps to correct whatever issue resulted in that first denial. But the other thing, if you can afford it, I would say have an attorney do your application. And for us, we even go to the interview with you. So we do the whole application. We prepare you for the interview. So we do practice, and we also go to the interview with you. And this way we can identify any issues beforehand. We can resolve them hopefully beforehand. And then we make sure that, you're good. You have us with you at the actual interview to make sure, everything goes smoothly. So if we can help you with your citizenship application, if we can help you with your whole naturalization process, we would love to do so. Give us a call at 703-348-1663. Shazi says, what are the requirements to move my marriage case in California? I'm not sure what you mean by move your marriage case in California. So if you have if you're married, if you have an immigration application filed, maybe that's what you're asking. Maybe I have an immigration application filed and I need to move my case. So what you do is you file a change of address with USCIS, and they will automatically change over to the field office that's closest to you to adjudicate your application. That means to review and see if you qualify. Okay, so just fill out the change of address. Just remember, everyone, this is really, really important. If you move, if you're not a U.S. citizen, let's say you're not a U.S. citizen, and even green card holders, so if you have any kind of non-immigrant status, any immigrant, non-immigrant status, so if everyone other than U.S. citizens, you're required to report any change of address to the government within 10 days of your move. So everybody, green card holders, and anyone else, anyone on visas, green card holders, asylees, anyone who is not a U.S. citizen is required to report a change of address to USCIS within 10 days of the move. So there's instructions online to do that. It's called Form AR11. Make sure you keep up with that, okay? Because not reporting it is a deportable offense. Most likely you will not get deported, but it's just something to do to be compliant with the law. All right, so all of you guys, if you are on any kind of visa, student visa, if you're a green card holder, you have to report a change of address, okay? Within 10 days, not business days, sorry, within 10 days of the move. All right. Poonam says, I'm not asylum. If I get married, do I have to go to India? No, not necessarily. You don't have to go to India if you get married. If you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, if you're here on asylum, you might still be eligible to apply for a green card. So you might be able to do it that's the self-petition method that I've been talking about, or you can apply. You might need to get a waiver, but still, if you have an asylum application pending, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you might be eligible, even if you had an illegal entry, to process that whole green card right in the U.S. So call us for a consultation. We'll go through the eligibility requirements with you. We'll let you know if you're eligible. It depends on each person's situation. So we'd have to ask you some questions to figure out whether or not you're able to process that green card right here in the U.S., even if you had an illegal entry, okay? So what that means is you would get a work permit in about 6 to 8 months, and you would get a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. All right, call us, 703-348-1663. Self-Love says, thank you, you're welcome. Hi, Alina. Hi, Neil. Hi, Damien. Shazia says yes. I think, okay, good. I got your question correct. Great. Nice to see that. Thank you. Okay, another question that comes up often for me is, this is gonna be kind of my last one, unless you guys have anything else, is I, or usually it's someone's parents, right? When they call me, entered with somebody else's passport or green card or visa, right? So they use someone else's visa to enter many years ago. And now they have a child who is a US citizen, 21 or over, right? So I have a child who's 21 or over, who's a US citizen, and I use somebody else's visa or passport to enter the US. Do I have any options? So yes, you can apply for your own green card. You can apply for your own green card, and you can do that in one of two ways. All right, so the first way would be a waiver. You'd have to leave the US to be able to do it. You'd get permission. We'd start the process here. You would get to a certain point in the process and would get permission that you can leave. You can process your green card abroad and come back in through a waiver. All right. The other option is not everyone qualifies. You can process the whole thing right here in the US. If you have a child who is a US citizen, 21 or over, and you entered with someone else's passport or visa, you entered the US with someone else's visa or passport, and now you have a citizen child who's 21 or over. So you could still potentially qualify to process that whole green card right here in the US. So what would happen if you're eligible, we would apply for you, you would get a work permit in about 6 to 8 months, and you would get a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. And the other thing to note is you could be eligible for travel authorization as well. So we apply for that at the same time. If you are eligible, you'd get both travel authorization and work authorization in about 6 to 8 months after we apply. And that is so huge because some people have come here illegally through somebody else's, green card, someone else's visa, and they haven't been able to leave or visit family back home. So you may be eligible to do that even while your application is pending. So give us a call if you think, if you or someone you know is in this situation, we can certainly help. Okay, we're at 703-348-1663. All right, and that's all I had for today. It was so nice to see you guys. Thank you so much. Feel free to call us for a consultation. Again, we're doing them by phone or by Zoom. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney, and I can help you no matter where you are located. And I will see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.